All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about escaping wage slavery, or at least my attempt at it. I've always wanted to do that, and my way of trying to do it was through Bitcoin mining or crypto mining. Many years ago, when all of that was popping off, I decided to buy my first 1080 Ti and put it in one of my older gaming PC, and suddenly I was making like $20 a day, just mining various various algorithms that NiceHash would switch to, and I was super lazy in that respect. I just used NiceHash. I didn't really go super deep into it, but I think looking back on it, if I would have just bought Bitcoin, I would have made a lot more money. But I like the idea of having passive income, and I sort of did the math on how much money I would have to put into it to make as much as I was making it work, and it wasn't that much. What I didn't know was that basically prices were going to continue to go down and down and down and down and down as more people join the pool for mining, because everyone likes this idea. Because if you're mining Bitcoin from your house, you don't have to interact with customers. You don't have to really do a whole lot of anything except have some very surface level knowledge of computers and how to assemble a rig, right? Because you don't want to just stick one video card in one computer. You want to have one motherboard can hold up to like four video cards if optimized or whatever. But yeah, that's sort of the direction I went, and I went and I thought, this is great. I just pay more for my electric bill. It produces some heat that's kind of uncomfortable, but during wintertime it's great. You can basically heat your house. So there was really it seemed like at the time there was no downsides to this, and I sort of got ego tricked into thinking I was like a genius, having figured out like some sort of life hack, and I'm like, yeah, I'm part of the future or whatever. But basically, as time went on, prices began to fall and fall and fall, and I went further down the rabbit hole, thinking that they would stabilize around a certain area, which they sort of did. They did stabilize around now. I think last time I checked, basically, like if you would put your money, same amount of money, into just a high interest rate bank account, or any kind of account, you would make about the same money minus the headache of having to deal with computers. So that's the thing, is that initially it was so good because it was simple, and I did, it wasn't that long of a road for me to just become financially independent and kind of be able to chill at home with my dog and play video games and draw, which is mostly what I like to do, which is partially how I was able to save so much money. Is my lifestyle is just very non-existent. It's like I just enjoy sitting in my house and not doing a whole lot except creative stuff, and yeah, so that's the direction I went in. And then my electric company caught on. I think they all kind of collectively caught on to this, that people were doing it. And what they did was, because they don't want the strain on the network, like people just using absurd amounts of electricity to do Bitcoin mining or whatever. Well, I always thought that they would want to sell more electricity, right? Electric, whatever. But they actually don't want that strain on the system. So what they did was, if you went over a certain amount of megawatt hours, they would just charge you absurd amount of money, which made it totally non-viable. Yeah, so it kind of sucked for me really badly. It kind of completely threw me out of being able to compete in this area. So what I did was I pivoted, and I started buying gaming PCs and handing them out to my friends and family and stuff like that. And I figured, I'm provide. It's like a vending machine business, I thought of it as, and I would like give gaming computers to people who wanted them to game, and then they would just mine on their when they're not using them, and it would produce a little heat, and their electric bill would go up a little bit. But if you have one video card, it's not going to destroy your your bill, your whatever. It's not that expensive for them, but for me, I figured, it's like a vending machine. I'm putting money in up front, I'm making a little bit of money from it, and then you have to restock the machine. Except with Bitcoin mining, you don't even have to restock the machine. There's a little bit of headache when you have to help some people, like with some stuff, like to get it going again. But basically, pretty simple and straightforward business model. And I thought I was like a genius for having figured this out, right? Then like I probably should have just honestly like put the money in a high interest rate bank account, just like the lack of headache. And that's kind of where the prices ended up anyway. But basically with my strategy, like I just thought, like, I'm like, this is like a really good idea, right? Like, I'm isolating myself from the cost of production. People are going to enjoy this product, this like computer, and then I will slowly grow my fleet until I'm financially free. But because more and more people join the pool for mining, the prices became just like non-existent. Like the profit just kind of slowly dwindled away and away and away, to where like basically paying off a multi-thousand-dollar computer, it just would take forever. And you might be thinking, how did you have so much money? It's just my lifestyle. I don't really go anywhere or do anything except like drawing and playing video games. So it's like it was easy to stack cash, even though I wasn't making like crazy amounts of money or anything. It's just I'm frugal because of my nature. I just don't really like want a lot. Like, I don't want motorcycles or boats or vacations. I just don't care about that stuff. I want my freedom. So, which kind of is like contradictory to making money, because you have to really like, to make money you got to be like really into it and like going after it, which is like, if you're like me and you just want to chill, it's like it directly contradicts that. But I thought I had found a way that was going to be straightforward and simple and not take that, it would just take a few years for me. In fact, at first, at one point, I was making as much money as I was at work, and I was getting ready to leave. But as the dream started to die out and prices started to go down, I had to like pivot to, like I said, buying gaming computers and giving them to people to mine out of their house. And so, yeah, that's like my first attempt at trying to escape wage slavery. I thought it was like an interesting business idea. And the reason I didn't want to go into like, because I thought about like maybe buying a house or whatever, or like a dualplex and renting it out. But I didn't know anything about that. It seemed like a really big hole to jump into, especially if it doesn't go well. It's like you could have legal issues, you could have tenant issues. If they break stuff, you're like, you still owe that money to the bank. But if your renter could just basically get away with murder as far as not paying you, for like a really long time, but you're still trapped for like years, right, trying to pay off this house. So it's like, to me, it seemed like this was a much more straightforward and simple business model that didn't require the $100,000 worth of capital to put up, initially, or whatever. It was just like, you buy a computer, you convince somebody to take it in their house, it mines, and you just you take that little bit of profit and you buy a bigger fleet. You just expand your fleet. But like I said, the mining prices just continue to go down and down and down. And so for me, it didn't work out. I basically like broke even on the whole thing, honestly. Like, and then it still generates a few dollars a day off of all the computers I got at people's houses, but it's not anything to like really even, it's not enough for me to do anything with. It's just like a little bit of passive income, but nothing super crazy. So that's sort of like my story. Yeah, that was my big attempt, and I thought it would work out. And I think I got ego trapped a little bit, thinking I was like a super genius being part of the future and the whole crypto thing. But really, I was like the low end on the totem pole, trying to like that mouse that's trying. It's like, it's like there's that story about putting a mouse into like a vat of milk, and then it turns into butter. Then you can get out. Well, the milk never turned into butter for me. Like, it never did. I just continued to drown further and further, and basically about broke even. After all that headache and all that, it would have been just easier to put the money into like conservative investing and just make like 8% a year off of stocks or something. That would have been like way better and less headache. But yeah, that's my story, guys. Hopefully, my next venture here works out a little bit better for me because I'm just not into working like anymore. I've had enough of it. So I need to just figure something out. But yeah, let me know if you guys had an interesting thing that failed for you. And I know I'm calling it wage slavery because that's what people call it on YouTube, and it's not really slavery, but it's still very unpleasant. And like I said, my lifestyle is pretty chill. I don't need a lot of resources to maintain it, but you do need more money than you think. You know what I mean? It's like you can't just pay your bills because there's the health stuff and all that. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's the end of my video. Hopefully it's not terrible. Hope people enjoy it. But yeah. See you guys in my next week's video of me updating and talking about my life.